Welcome to January's Taxing Subjects Zoom Q&A session. I'm Shay Batchelder, the owner of Casler Financial, and I'm really excited to have Maria Ekstrand joining me today. She's the founder of Ekstrand Creative, a marketing consultancy specializing in branding and content strategy. And she's been helping me to update my brand and my website. And so I'm excited to have you here today, Maria. Thanks for joining me.
Hi. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I feel like I know everybody here, so introducing myself. Maria Ekstrand, my consultancy, Ekstrand Creative, as Shay mentioned, I specialize in branding, marketing strategy, and content creation. So thanks, everyone, for being here.
Yeah. And just
We-
before we dive in really quick, since it is January 15th, I wanted to give a quick reminder that fourth quarter estimated tax payments are due today. The deadline isn't hard and fast like the April 15th deadline. So if you don't get to it till tomorrow, not a huge deal. But if you do have a fourth quarter estimate due for 2024, make sure you make that before you file your taxes. So most of you probably who have been following along with me know that I've recently went through a rebranding process with Maria. And I thought it would just be valuable to other business owners for her to demystify the branding process for us. And I know I personally didn't even know what a brand audit was before I met Maria, and going through that auditing process with her and then just working closely with her to create a new updated brand and image for my business has been really helpful for me. And I'm just so excited about the results and excited to share them with you and just kind of walk through the process. So thank you for doing that with us, Maria, today. I'm really excited to have you share.
Yeah, thank you. Today we'll cover kind of the basics of branding and the importance of branding and and some highlights and insights into the rebranding journey for Casler Financial. And then, whether you're considering a rebrand, starting a new business, you want to refine your current strategy and kind of talk through some common questions and share those insights into that process and what some takeaways that you'll be able to take away from today's discussion.
Yeah, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to post them in the chat and we'll be monitoring that and get to them.
So, what is branding? A lot of people think that branding is really your logo or, kind of what that visual is, but it's really much more than that. Branding it's really the way that you tell your story, visually and through your messaging, and it really just makes all the difference. It's telling an authentic brand story that resonates and connects with your audience can really just make all of the difference. It builds trust. It can resonate with your audience, and it really can help your business stand out in a very crowded marketplace. So there's a lot that goes into building that foundation and being able to tell that story to be able to tell that story authentically. And we'll kind of go through that process and being able to get down to being able to tell that authentic truth. And why rebrand or create that brand? And how do you know when it's time? Are your materials inconsistent? Has your business grown? Maybe your audience has shifted. Is your material, your design, your logo, is it outdated? Maybe you've grown into new channels like social media without a lot of planning and everything's just kind of all over the place. These are definitely signs that it's time to rebrand. So let's talk a little bit about why Shay made that decision. If you want to give us a little bit of background on what made you decide that you wanted to go through this process.
Sure. Yeah, so I met Maria through BizPod, which was a business mentorship program that we got accepted to in the city of Oregon City last year. And so I was already kind of working with mentors to grow my business and refine my vision and kind of nail down what my ideal client is. And Maria was part of that as well with her marketing business. So that's where I learned about even the process of a brand audit. And I had first been just wanting to update my website. So without her, I probably just would have dived right in and probably done some do-it-yourself online thing or something. I didn't understand all the importance behind what you're putting out there. I mean, I'm a visual person. I wanted it to look pretty, but I also wanted all the other things that she offered. So when I started learning about what exactly she does behind the scenes, I was very excited for the process. And it's been so helpful to have all of this information to not only help me think through it and develop what's in it with her help, but now to have this working document that I can give to other people that are helping in my business, whether it's helping with my website or I had a photo shoot done recently for my branding, and I was able to give her this document so that everyone can be on the same page and everything can be really cohesive and uniform.
Yeah, so in that early discussion, some of the challenges that we talked about, what would, Shay was identifying that, she was feeling that fragmentation across her platforms. And I think what she had really first discussed was that she wanted to have redesign her website. And that can really be a common theme or a common thing is that a client might want, this one thing. And it might be like, 10 steps down the road. They want to get to this place and not really understand that, there are a lot of steps that need to happen before they can get to that place. And without understanding that, you really need to kind of create this platform first before you can just get down to that end goal. And might take a little bit of education, a little bit of discussion before they can really understand what needs to happen first. So yeah, we did have that discussion about the ultimate goal in that website redesign, but understanding that there was a lack in brand cohesion and then talking through that rebranding process. And Shay was really totally got it. She understood that needed to happen. So understanding that brand fragmentation and that inconsistent messaging and the steps that we would be going through and that rebranding process, which we're going to talk about next. Oops.
Yeah, my website was functional before, but it didn't tell a story. It didn't like really represent who I am and what I want my business to portray. So I'm excited for it.
So starting with discovery. So the brand discovery process will really uncover the authentic value in your business. We go through and we understand your goals. We understand your audience, the competition. And through this process, you'll become more confident and aligned in what you do and how you exist in the marketplace, kind of what's your sweet spot. And this really will help clients, kind of get this like, okay, now I know who I am and where do I fit and where are my, who is my audience? And we create profiles for the audiences, not just like, define who they are, but like, what do they want and how do we align with our audience? And to help clients through this process, we don't just like sit there and talk about it, but I develop a questionnaire and it's pretty thorough. We focus on key areas of your business essential, your brand, your audience, the competition. Maybe there's brand influencers and just some other key areas of your business. And this provides me with a really holistic view of your business and your brand. And then gather all this information, and then I'll deliver a brand audit. And this is, a really thorough assessment and evaluation of your brand assets and their effectiveness, where I see strengths, where I see weaknesses. It includes a competitive analysis to really understand where you fit in the market landscape. And then the next step from this brand audit is to develop a brand strategy. And this is how you'll differentiate yourself from your competitors, where you fit. And this brand strategy will define your mission, your vision, your values, target audience profiles, your USP, your brand positioning statement. This is your Bible and how you move forward. This is the how you'll differentiate yourself, as I said. And then once this is defined, then we have the tools to develop your really strong brand identity. And this is where kind of the fun stuff happens. I mean, all of this is fun. I find the branding work really, really fun and exciting, but it might seem like this is a really long process to get to starting to create those visuals and all of the really exciting elements that probably are a lot more fun for clients.
Yeah, it was a process, that's for sure. But my degree's in psychology, so the psychology behind everything that she did was just really interesting to me, and how cohesively you put my vision into words was amazing. And to be able to come back to that now and remind myself as well as my clients is great.
Yeah, I find this part really, really fascinating, the branding and the strategy work. So I think I probably take a lot of time doing it, but I think it's just so important, and missing any little step along the way can kind of send you off in the wrong direction. So it's really critical to take the time to do this right and to follow along with it, because if you kind of veer off in a different direction, can really be a misfire. So it's pretty critical to go through this.
Do you remember how long that part of the process took, Maria?
I mean, I could go back and look at the dates, but it did take a good, chunk of time.
Oh,
I really don't. But we started in June
mhm.
in our first discussions. It was a good month and a half, I think, in this strategy development.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out for people just so
Yeah,
they're aware.
takes a while. So then crafting the brand identity. This is the designing the visuals, the logo, the colors, the typography, and all of that, like I said, the fun part. And then next comes the implementation. Talking a little bit about color theory here. There's a science to it too. A lot of people think, or not a lot of people, I'm just talking to you all, you probably are very in tune with this, but there's just so much that goes into that, and why colors are selected, and why logos, the shapes, whether it's a word mark or a brand, or a bug, and the typography, whether it's serif or a sans serif, and all of those things. And there's so much that goes into it. And there's designers that have, much more, you know, experience in it than I do, but having worked in this industry for 25 years, I've been around some extremely gifted creative directors, et cetera. So I've certainly been around that, and it's pretty fascinating in the science behind it, the psychology behind it, and why things are chosen and the reasons behind it. So. Um, it can go on for forever and ever, and there could be so many different options. And I know I probably inundated um, Shay with some choices early on, and tried to not provide too many options. But being in a financial industry, and then as a independent consultant, and all of those things that kind of feed into it, and then of course the strategy that we developed and where her position is, all of those things feed into the choices that we made, and where we ultimately ended. So pretty fun to kind of take all of those things into consideration.
Can you tell us really quick what a bug is? Because I didn't know what a bug was before
Well,
I started looking.
there's different things for calling it, but the bug is actually like the logo, or the thing itself. Trying to think about, like, I'm just looking around, be like Coca-Cola is a word mark, where try like I'm just like Starbucks is a bug. I mean, there's a thing that we're like, I'm looking at my Starbucks thing, and that there's a graphic symbol
And
behind
it's
it.
sometimes what is used in like the search bars too, right, on your website, like the little logo that's
Yeah, that, which I didn't even what's that thing called? Is it called a
It's called a favicon,
Favicon,
like
thank you.
favorite.
I love it. Yeah, I didn't even have one for I didn't know where to put it because I designed my own website. So, I'm obviously not a website designer. So I was like, what is that? It took me a while to figure out like how I can address that. And then I had to put a little favicon in there too. So we've created one for Shay. Yeah, I'll reveal it here in a second. So let's just get to it. The updated logo, the cohesive visuals. For her, it's a professional yet approachable tone. She's friendly, but professional, streamlined, modern website. She's got all of these things. And here is the reveal. So we did go with a word mark because, that puts her brand name front and center. Excellent for building recognition. The name is unique. The word mark is versatile, works well across different mediums. It's really favored in industries like law and finance, where trust and clarity are key. And the handwritten, I mean, this is not necessarily literally handwritten, but we chose a handwritten font. It adds a very distinctive yet personal feeling. So we did ultimately decide on the handwritten font over a bug for Casler Financial for all of those reasons. And then the color palette, this combination of this blue and green, and there are other colors that are chosen for accent colors, represents trust and stability. Blue is a by far the most chosen color in finance. Because of that, it immediately represents trust and stability. And then green oftentimes represents money. But these accent colors also suggest energy and approachability. So lots of research went into color theory and that's what went into the color palette. So this lower down here, this is our favicon. And also for smaller spaces like in social media, et cetera, where we might need to have a little bit of a smaller, oops, sorry about that. Oops, there we go. Oh my gosh, wait, there we go. Move away from that. Sorry for jumping around. Yeah, so let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, the middle here, these are the brand guidelines that I developed. Pretty extensive, but provide really very clear and extensive information about the usage for all of the materials. All of the information is there that, as Shay mentioned earlier, that can be provided to anyone that might be doing any kind of work, whether it's website, photography, et cetera, has guidelines for all of that, including messaging, tone, visuals, et cetera. What else? Business cards. We did a lot of social media graphics. The templates have been prepared, so she's pretty ready to go off and running.
Yeah, we haven't officially like announced yet, but we've started implementing things, and I love now that my social media all like matches. That's just my own OCD. I wanted it to just all like match and be cohesive. So not only does like my Instagram look lovely, but it also, matches my website and my Facebook and my YouTube channel. It all just meshes together, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, the social media we went through, I didn't really address that in here, but we went through, created a content um, document, kind of a master document, if you will, with I think what 5 different categories or maybe something like that. One about with call to action, one customer, um, anyways, different categories, and then created some templates that can be customized. And you can just drop in different visuals, change out the content. So this is just an example of 3 of them, but you have, I think, I don't know however many, but that was also a pretty fun process. All of this has been really, really enjoyable. I think Shay's been a delight to work with. It's been just really, really fun. I've enjoyed it all myself, and I think the end result has been pretty amazing. I think it's been very collaborative. So a lot of times, things can really veer off and change and go into a different direction. But I think that we work together, and um, I, I'm pretty happy with it. And I think that the end, the results have been fun for Shay too. So
Yeah, I'm really excited. Should we show them? Should we show them my new website?
yeah, let's go there. Let me see. I'll switch to this. So I think,
So actually the person who's been helping me update my website is here. Thank you, Laura, so much for the work that you've done helping me get this updated. And if you have any comments, feel free to chime in, since you're the one that I gave this document to. It was so nice to be able to have direction to give her and not have to try to, neither one of us had to try to make up what font or what colors we should use to look best. Like we have a guideline to go to. And anyone in the future who works on my anything to do with my image or marketing can refer back to this and know the exact colors. I mean, my brand guidelines show the names of the colors to use and the fonts, and if this font isn't available, use this one instead. So it is just a great guideline to have available so that whoever's helping you can make it all look cohesive. So I wish I had a before and after of my website, but now I feel like it's just welcoming and approachable. I feel like it's professional, but also easy to navigate. And I wanted it to be, simple, not feel too cluttered. Right here on the homepage, you can watch a welcome video. All of my services are in one place. I feel like the menu's easy to navigate. The psychology behind it all, I don't know if that works or not, but to me, when I go to it, I am happy and pleased with how it looks. And I haven't, again, made it live yet. I mean, it's been live for a couple days, but I haven't advertised that it's updated and new. So I don't have a lot of feedback from other people yet. But I'm excited to get it out there. And I feel like it's a much better representation of me and my brand than what I had before.
Yeah, you all did a great job with it and in taking the guidelines and just, I didn't have anything to do with the website myself, but as a outsider looking in and knowing that how closely you follow the guidelines and taking the elements, all of the brand elements and implementing them into the website, I am super pleased to see what a great job you all did, and it looks wonderful. You used all of the colors and the fonts, etc. And I really I think it looks wonderful. I think it's so nice to see how cohesive your brand has come together and how it's just come to life. It's really awesome to see.
Thanks. I'm excited too.
Yep. Oops. Boy, this is jumpy. So just talking about, what we've learned along the way. Oh, I'm going too fast. As I said, working together, I feel like we were able to just create a brand that really connects. And that's what, going back to the earlier part of this presentation is that's really the end goal, is that creating a brand that genuinely connects is really what we're all after in today's marketplace. Clarifying your brand and refining your visual identity is critical. And I really feel like that is what we have accomplished here. And I'm just so happy about that. I mean, Shay is not just my client, she's my good friend. And so this has been just a real, work of love for me because I really wanted to accomplish that for her. And I mean, I approach every client that way, but to have a good friend that I get to work with, this was just something that I really wanted to bring to life. And I really feel like we were able to do that. And, we worked really closely together to be able to do it. And I feel like, that creating that connection and telling that story has really happened here. So I don't know, Shay,
like
you want to talk about some of the ROI that you've experienced since then, but
yeah, I just want to make a quick comment about the branding is a journey, not just a task. I definitely feel that way. And, even though we're kind of wrapping things up, it is still a journey. And I'm excited to still have your collaboration as my business continues to grow and change. And it was just so nice to have another person helping to pull that vision out of me, like it was all in there, but to just have someone to talk to about it and then have time to think in between, and like the assignments that you would give me to answer questions and stuff just really helped guide me to where we are today. And again, like I said, I don't know what the benefit's going to be yet, but I expect it to be great. I mean, I've already seen increased people finding my website. You know, it used to be that I just got business by referrals only, but I'm getting quite a few new clients that are just searching online and choosing me from, you know, hundreds of accountants in the Portland metro area. So it must be working.
It is for sure. I bet. So some common questions, and we got a couple through social media earlier, but these are pretty common questions that you know I hear is, you know, how do you even know if your brand is working? Well, obviously, if it attracts and resonates with your audience, is your messaging clear and consistent? Does it reflect your values? And this is something that, you know, I mean, what are your values, and does your messaging reflect those values? Then that's, you know, how do you measure that? I mean, you sometimes businesses don't even know have values, or they don't have defined values, and that's super, super important to have. Do you see measurable outcomes like increased engagement, leads, sales? And is your brand aligned with your long-term business goals and identity? And this is one too that so often businesses don't have their business goals outlined. So that's to start there. But yeah, as a foundational you know, step too. Your marketing must be aligned with your business goals. Those are critical. So that's a, you know, those are great questions. What's the first step in branding? Well, as we kind of went through that step, it starts with discovery. And not those are it's not just a real intuitive thing, but there are, you know, some processes to go through in that discovery thing is defining your goals, mission, values, understanding your target audience and their needs. So often you can see where it's always about a business will be like just talking about them, and it really isn't. It's about you. It's about your audience. It should be about your audience. So defining and understanding your target audience and their needs is super important, and that happens in the discovery process. Research your competitors. Find out what's your sweet spot in the market. Figure out where your niche is. Creating this foundation will help you make sure that your brand is aligned and that you can be impactful. A budget, that's always a big question. And if you like a lot of small businesses, we don't have big budgets. Just get the essentials, focus on those. Clear messaging, get a great look, some consistent visuals. There's wonderful tools out there like, you know, Canva, Squarespace for web building, and update your touch points, your website, your social media profiles, make sure that those are looking good, and partner with a consultant with strategic guidance, and maximize your results. You don't have to do everything all at once. Just start with those key elements.
Yes, I did appreciate that about the process. We kind of did it, I think, in like 3 chunks. So I didn't have to pay a big amount up front. We started small and then just worked through it. You know, every couple months I was paying some. So I appreciated that.
Those are all good things to do. Is it, unless anyone has any questions that we can go through.
I didn't see any questions in the chat. It's a small group, so if anybody wants to unmute and ask anything, you're welcome to.
Okay, well, if anyone is ready we would like to follow up, or, you know, wants to move forward with their own branding, feel free to get in touch. I would love to talk more or create a brand that can help you grow your business.
And do you offer like an initial consult?
Yeah, I usually can have a 30-minute free, you know, one-on-one consult. Absolutely.
Right. And of course, you know, I'm available for tax preparation. I do have room for a few more new clients for tax preparation this upcoming season for individuals, or if you have a business that you still report on your individual return, great. But if you have like a whole separate corporation or partnership, I am full for those type of returns at this time. And then I do offer paid advisory sessions. So if people are wanting to prepare their own return or have another accountant that isn't really giving them the advice they need, I'm going to try to leave a limited number of appointments available for those sessions during tax season as well. So I would love the opportunity to help you out. go check out my new website, follow me on new socials if you do that sort of thing. And I just thank you so much, Maria, for being here today and going through this process with me over the last 6 months and then sharing it with our audience today. I think it'll be really valuable, and I'm excited to see who in my circle does a rebrand next.
Lily, my pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.